Welcome to the 1 Minute Apologist.
1 Minute Apologist.
Apologetics seeks to give credible answers to curious questions, to give a defense.
Can a homosexual become a heterosexual? In 1 Corinthians chapter 6, in verses 9 and 10, what the Apostle Paul's doing is he's talking about a certain group of people, namely the sexually immoral, idolaters, adulterers, men who practice homosexuality, thieves. And then in verse 11 it reads, "And such were some of you, but you were washed, you were sanctified, you were justified in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, and by the Spirit of our God." The phrase in verse 11, "and such were some of you," implies that thieves can become non-thieves, that homosexuals can become heterosexuals, that adulterers don't have to be adulterers always. Once adulterer doesn't mean you're always an adulterer. Now, that's not always the case though. And I don't want to be overly optimistic here. I do want to realize that there is hope for somebody who's a homosexual, that God can do that kind of deep work. At the same token, there are many people who are homosexuals who have went through reparative therapy and have found it damaging and have struggled and have felt like there's something deeply wrong because they can't fix themselves. And they've been hurt by the church. And I think that the posture of the church should be, hey, if God transforms a homosexual into a heterosexual, that's great. But if somebody still continues to struggle with same-sex attractions, they still continue to struggle with homosexual tendencies, then the church should just encourage that person to understand that sex has a context in marriage between a man and woman. That's biblically how we would understand that. At the same token, the church should lovingly and graciously and humbly come alongside that person who is struggling with same-sex attractions and not make them feel inferior, less than, but rather loved, cared for, and prayed for as that person too seeks to obey and honor the Lord with their sexual desires.